production. And natural rubber production takes three major stages. We have the nursery, we have the immature stage, then we have the mature stage. Okay. So the nursery, we have the nursery is also divided into three separate sections. We have the collection garden, we have the budroot garden, then we have the nursery. Okay. Just as we all know, every plant have varieties, have types. So in our setting, we also have varieties as far as natural rubber is concerned. So we have a place we call the collection garden, where we receive and keep new clothes or new varieties that are developed in other countries. Because they are not developed in Ghana, we may not know whether they will survive well in Ghana or not. So we need to keep them and monitor for their survival before we can expand the numbers. Okay, so we keep them in the place we call the collection gardens. Then we monitor for their fast growth, adaptability to our environment, then resistance to disease and wind damage. If these key point indicators are met at the collection garden, then we multiply the numbers through a process we call budding. Then we keep them in another place we call the budroot garden. Okay, so at the collection garden, they are a mixture of clothes. But at the budroot garden, we keep separate clothes in one piece of land. Okay, then from there, we can further multiply their numbers for larger plantations. Okay. So when we are done the nursery, then we go to the development stage, where we'll go and prepare the land and plant the trees there to grow permanently for exploitation. So from the year 1 up to year 6 or 7, that is the immature period. The rubber takes about 6 to 7 years to mature. It will have to grow to attain a minimum gere size of 50 centimeters or above before we can start exploiting. And this will happen between 6 and 7 years. Okay. So after 7 years, when it is matured, then we can then do what we call paneling and start the exploitation. So at that stage, we are in the mature stage when we start exploiting the latest. So the trees are planted mainly for the extraction of latest, which is the primary source of natural rubber. Okay. So as we go through the field, we will see these various stages as we go along. So this is part of the nursery. These are extraction. These are stalks that are ready to be transplanted at the field where they will grow permanently for us to exploit. Okay. And this is the field land preparation. So in our setting, we have replanting and we have extension. Replanting indicates where the trees have served their economic lifespan and we want to discard the old trees and plant younger ones. That is replanting. But in extension, the company has gone to acquire a new land and we are expanding the plantation. Okay. So this is how the planting is done. So this is a stump. So when we plant, it will shoot like this. These are the various stages of shooting. It will first come like this stage, then like that as it goes. Then, in a bit to break the gestation period and also ensure uniformity in the growth, we adopted a system called shooted material planting. In this case, you extract the stumps, put them in the secondary nursery for them to sprout before we transplant. So in that case, when we are transplanting, we will select plants of equal get size and height. Then we plant them on one plot so that their growth will be uniform. Because when we plant the stump, we realize that some will take 2 weeks to shoot, some 1 month, some 6 months, even some 1 year before they sprout. So if some sprout at 2 weeks and one sprout at 6 months, they cannot grow together. Okay, so that is why we adopted the shooter material system. Okay, so this is the mature stage. At the mature stage, we will divide the tree into two equal halves. Tap one side for some time, then we switch to the other side. Then we alternate as the time goes. So this is the tapping preparation. We are doing the paneling. And these are the tapping knives. We also have the tree equipment. So these are the knives we use to tap in order to exploit the latest from the tree. So this is the tapping process. So at some point we'll tap downwards. At some point we'll tap upwards. So the picture here is upwards tapping and the picture here is downwards tapping. Then the tree, we are expected to exploit the tree between 35 and 40 years. Okay? And this will happen when we put measures in place to make sure that we manage the panel system well. So we have a control in place to make sure that we will exploit the tree for this long. Other than that, we cannot exploit it for that long. The industrial plantation normally will achieve this target, but the outgrower plantation, because of the lack of control, they are always not getting to 30 years or 40 years. Okay. So this is just a panel display. Panel A1, A2, A3, like that. It will go up to about 30 years. So this, every mark like this is for a period of 1 year. Okay. So this one, if we don't control the size we cut away, and also control that we are not taking off the soft tissue, leaving the hard wood, you will not get the tree up to this stage. So there is a control in place to measure the size we cut every day, and also leave some soft tissue to the hard wood, so that a new bark will regenerate for us to come back and cut. So when we tap and the latest enters the cap, between 2 and 3 days, the latest will coagulate on its own. Then we'll go and pick the log from the cap. Then we'll bring it to a station and wait to know the quantity of cap log we have gotten. Then from there, we will transport them to the factory for the processing. So at the point that we transport the cap log to the factory, then the field production has also ended there. Then the factory process continues. So these are just our next activities we do to improve production. One is stimulation. Okay, we have a chemical, some tree gas that we apply to the panel like this to influence the flow of latex. It opens up the latex vessels, and when you cut, it will delay the coagulation. The liquid will not stop in time. So we will have more than natural when we have not applied the stimulant. Then we also have preservation. Preservation by adding formic acid. When we tap, normally this is done during the rainy season. When you tap and the latex is still liquid, if it rains immediately, it will wash off the latex. So we have some formic acid that we mix with the lowest point. Then we dip small into the cap and stir. Within 5 minutes, the latex will coagulate. So even if it rains, we still have our production. Then we have the rain guard, this thing, this black belt. We fix it above the tapping panel. So you see in this picture, the rain guard is here and the panel is here. So when water is dripping down the stem, this one will collect the water and redirect it to the other side so that it doesn't come to where the latex is going. Another measure we have put in place to enhance production. Thank you.